Hello. Oh, wow. Everything's like all bright and shiny. I don't understand you. I don't understand you, you silly, silly StreamYard. You were working just fine. Then we go live and everything gets weird. Hi, my name is Charlie, and I apparently don't know how anything works anymore. But it's fine. How are you doing? Welcome to this episode of Fantasy First Aid. Can you tell I have completely thrown myself off by it not working right? I don't understand what's going on here. Let me turn the lights back on. Bright, bright. There we go. That'll fix things, kinda. Hi. It is Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and we are going to have so much food. Like it's not even funny. It's kind of disgusting because we're not doing a big family thing yet. The hubby's cooking as if like the entire family is coming out. Like he's just about to start brining the turkey because that's a thing that's got to happen. And our refrigerator is just terrifying with all the food that I know that will be in the freezer that I will be eating for the next couple months. But it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. How is everyone else doing today? Let me know in chat. But before I prattle on a little any longer, I am not alone today. I am joined by the wonderful Laura Nettles.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
It has been a strange day strange couple days, but
yeah, it was -2 this morning on the walk with Roy, so that was fun.
It is finally not shiver-worthy weather in here today. I may or may not have 2 blankets on my lap right now trying to keep myself warm, and I've got my house coat right there, so if it decides to get cold again, y'all might see me just like slip that on and look like I'm part of like a weird 60s chat show where they just like put on their bathrobe and was like, it's fine.
Is it as glamorous as Snoke's?
Well, no, it's nice. It's my favorite color. It's a nice burgundy with blue with a blue and green stripe on it. I like it a lot. It's very, very comfy. It's very cozy. It's very warm, which is nice and what it's supposed to be. But no, it's not. I don't have that game like I used to. Like I've got an old kimono that I just don't wear anymore. Kimono robe that's way over the top and makes me feel like there should be like 70s naughty music on in the background every time I put it on because it's just so over the top. Like it's just nothing good happens when somebody walks into the room wearing a silk kimono like that. Like nothing good ever happens. So I feel weird wearing it, so I don't. Alrighty, let's see who all is here in the chatty chat. There is a Maggie. Hello, Maggie. How are you doing today? There is Megan McCarthy. Hello, Megan.
Super ready.
Super ready. I have to say, I was laughing so hard because I was pinning today's first question of the stream up in the chat, and it does this whole like animated like I'm putting it up there when you do it, and when that all faded away, it just said I'm ready, and I made my day. Hello, Spence. How are you doing today? I hope all is well. I just thought you were really enthusiastic. Yeah, same. I'm taking it that way anyway. I see we have our first answer to the question. We'll get to that in just 1 minute. But hello, CB. How are you doing? Hello, Cliff Tenifer. How are you doing today? I hope all is well. Right? What was the... What did... For an hour, I was in here with the test lights on and everything. Everything was fine. I hit record, and all of a sudden I just like became something from the Haunted Mansion, and I don't understand. I don't get it. Right? I just
you glowing hitman, you.
Oh, there's gonna be so much turkey. Like it's just so much turkey and so much cornbread because I'm planning on making a corn pudding because I really want to make a corn pudding, and he's making a cornbread and a cornbread stuffing, and it's just going to be nothing but turkey and cornbread, and then the potato stuff because he's doing all these things with potatoes, and just so much food, so much food, and we don't even know if we're gonna like have anybody to give any of it to. It's crazy.
Sure, you did. Sure.
Nobody means human. You never mean human. Um, I am the embodiment of Elmo on fire meme. Oh no! I I feel that though. I feel that though. Right, cornbread. Alrighty, before we jump into the first question of the day, I just want to say Fantasy First Aid is meant to be a resource for y'all. If y'all have any specific world building questions, problems that you're currently having with your project, or what have you, don't hesitate to put it into the chat so that we can try to help you through your issues or help you understand something in particular. I will say next week, we're going to be talking about Cosmogenesis, writing the origin myths for your setting, because I just feel like that would be a lot of fun to do, especially as we're getting ready for Yule and the darkness is creeping in. And we're getting ready for the festivals of light. So,
Life Day?
I am not saying that the hubby and I have ever put on red robes and stood around a glowing orb and just went at each other. But I'm not saying that we haven't done that.
Yes!
I'm not saying that we haven't done that. I'm just saying it may have come up from time to time. Hello,
Okay.
Diana. How are you doing? So, if anybody has any questions about world building, about anything, let us know. We'll do what we can to help your story out. All right. So, question 1: what are you most thankful for in your writing? Thanksgiving to me is one of the most important holidays of the year because I'm not saying I'm not a grateful person, but I don't often take time to count my blessings. I'm not one of those people that just takes the time to realize the good things or the happy things. I'm much more of a pessimist at heart. I'm one of those critters who just likes to sit back and go, everything's horrible, everything's terrible, but it's fine, I guess, because that's just how my brain chemistry works. So actively forcing myself to take this holiday this much seriously, actually asking myself, what am I thankful for this year? That has been one of the best changes that I made to my life. We actually do it on several holidays throughout the year. I try to do it on all of the Ember days, which take place basically on the quarters. So your solstices and your equinoxes, to try to keep that spirit of gratefulness alive. And especially while we're here in the middle of National Novel Writers Burnout Month, it can be really hard to be grateful for our writing practice, or our stories. So you don't have to put it in chat. No pressure on anybody. But you should at least be answering for yourself, what about your writing are you thankful for? What is it that makes you happy that you are a writer? What has brought some joy to your life? For me, it has always been basic escapism. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Literally, most of my childhood was me and a dog running through the woods, very much where the red fern grows style. Loved that book when I was a kid. Just running around chasing possums and raccoons and other critters around with a pop gun, because I grew up in the 1850s, if you did not know. Um, but writing was that one place where I could escape the small town that I lived in and travel to other places and inhabit other lives and really escape from whatever it was that was going on in my life. I could be anything, I could be anyone. And I think that's one of the things that really drove me to world building and all of the fantasy fiction, because I really love that, not necessarily just the escapism of it all, but that ability to transplant my mind into somebody else for just a little bit. I love that about fiction. I love experiencing that in fiction, just to forget about me for a little bit and run with it. And I love to be able to do that with my original characters as much as I do for others. Not to put you on the spot, Laura, but do you have an answer to the question?
Well, I didn't actually start writing until 2018, NaNoWriMo. So I had done art a lot, like drawing and things like that. But writing felt like a freedom that was different from drawing. It was so nice. I actually won that NaNoWriMo. Finished a 51,000 word draft in a month. And of course
That's
it was
awesome.
too short. Of course it was too short, but I had a blast. I was still working full time, and it was so fun. And that just proved to me that there is another creative outlet that I can have and develop. And through writing craft books and drafting all of this flash fiction and stuff like that, just being able to level up fairly fast has been really, I've been really grateful for that, because going back and reading my first stuff, it hurts. It hurts so bad. But just knowing that I have improved and that I still can improve even further is really nice. And that I haven't had to do this journey alone has been the
That
best
would
part.
that could I really wonder about that, because growing up in the ancient dark times where, like, I remember when there were only 3 channels on television. Okay, like, we literally grew up with wood stoves
The
and some
rabbit
simple
ears.
farming. Oh yeah, like I grew up in a very different era, and everything felt so isolating. I was the only person I knew who wrote stories. I was the only person I knew who drew pictures until we moved to Maryland. So I would have been about 10 the first time I ever met another kid who liked to draw. And that felt like a miracle. Like, that felt like magic. Like, my sister literally set me up on a play date because she figured out that a friend of her son liked drawing and I liked drawing. So of course we were going to be best friends, because, 10 years old. I mean, it really doesn't take a lot of mutual interests at that age.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we started I was one of the founding members of the writing club at my high school. And that was astounding to see the 3 other people who showed up, who had the courage. And I will say that because the teacher who sponsored that gave us a 15-minute prompt at the beginning of each meeting, and then we read what we wrote. So it was
Mm-hmm.
very critique heavy, and it was kind of nice, but
Yeah.
that scared a lot of people off.
Ah.
Because, what do you mean? Other people have to get to read what I'm writing? Because
Yeah.
that. So CB says, well, if anything, let's see, if anything, my love of writing has taught me to respect the gifts of others. That's really cool. And writing fanfic is what led you to the MCU and an unhealthy obsession with a certain actor. So
It is not.
it is not. As somebody who's literally surrounded by images of a person who doesn't exist, like, this isn't even just a character. Like, it's a a concept that was created for 1.5 albums and a tour. Like, it's not even like a fully fleshed character that I'm literally surrounded by both artwork and statuary of, it's fine. It's absolutely 100% fine. But yeah, I do love that empathy that good fiction. Well, I'm going to say good fiction because the fiction that I find and often classify as bad is very mean fiction, that
Mm.
they're either talking down to the readers or down about the characters. I'm not into that, but good fiction where you get to meet these characters as who they are, warts and all, and get to know them. Yeah, that can really teach you a lot of empathy. And yeah, that's that is a wonderful little insight there. I like that. And of course, as I'm scrolling back down, I see the ghost like Charlie, and I just look up at Papa, and I'm just like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. She didn't mean it that way. I mean, you can interpret it that way, but it's fine. Oops, I just scrolled like crazy. Okay.
Spence has an answer.
And get down to Spence in just 1 second. I wanted to say hello to Hayden because I missed you when I was saying my hellos. I am not that far north of you if you're in Arkansas. I'm one state. I'm one state north, and it's cold. It's so very cold. Let's see.
2 comments down, Christina. You go back up 3.
I'm not much of a writer, but when I am, I'm thankful for learning new skills and having resources to improve. See, it may just be because my debut as a published author was having a fight with the president of the SFWA, but I am specifically over this topic of what makes somebody a writer. Maybe that's what's made me very sensitive to this, but I don't like it when people talk down on themselves like this. You are a writer. If you tell stories in any way, shape, or form and capture them in a semi-permanent form, to me, that's the difference between a storyteller and a writer. If you're just telling stories that go out into the world and unless somebody remembers them, that's storytelling. If you are capturing them so that they can, you can do things with them in future, you are a writer. Whether you're writing them down, making them as a video, doing it as a podcast, what have you. So I just want to start with that. Don't sell yourself short. You are a writer. But yeah, the new skills, I am always amazed when I can pick up a new skill. I am desperately on my 5 millionth attempt to learn how to write poetry because I can write something that is I mean, if you're generous and a Vogon, you could call it poetry. And I think I may have actually figured some stuff out from the masterclass that I've been taking because I like the way he words what poems are. I really like that he takes away a lot of the mystery of it, and I enjoy that. See, Megan says, I'm just thankful for writing. Not sure if there's anything specific in your writing that you're thankful for. Well, that's...
Bless you?
That was the weirdest experience I've ever had. It wasn't quite a sneeze. It was kind of like my nose sighed. It didn't have the full force of a sneeze and it had all the sensation of a sneeze, but when it came down to it, it was just I kind of wish I didn't mute just so other people could have heard that weird sound that just happened. That was interesting. Anyway, let's see. Not sure there's anything specific. Well, there doesn't always have to be a specific thing. Just realizing that you're grateful to the thing that you're doing, that can get you through a lot. I have these periods of my life that seem to happen every season or so where I'm just I'm going to give up on everything. Nothing matters. I get very nihilistic and go into a very dark place. And it's that, just that simple gratitude of how much joy I get from the act of writing, how much joy I get from the act of making music. I am terrible at playing the piano, as some of you unfortunately heard the other day because I forgot to turn my mic off while I was doing my piano my practice, and you got to hear my brain breaking as I was trying to play, and I'm sorry for that. Um,
I missed it. Darn it.
um, but I get so much joy from that, and it's remembering and being thankful for that joy that keeps me from just falling into that dark place and not doing it anymore. Because my life would be a much darker place if I wasn't writing, if I wasn't playing around with music or doing the silly things what I call art. I mean, it just, yeah. The count your blessings. Yeah. 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 I'm very much not that person either. That's one of the reasons why I specifically wanted to do this today. Because come Thursday, I'm going to be, I have like already thought of a long list of things that I'm grateful for the last year, because our business is still there. And that was a question for like most of the year, and like a lot of big things. Like my dad got over the panini and my mom somehow didn't catch it, which amazing.
Wow.
Um, there's a lot that I'm grateful for the last year, and the little things can get missed. Because yeah, well, I very much agree with you. The whole just count your blessings. It's not a cure all to everything, but it is an important way for us to remember that not everything is terrible. Because that's where my brain wants to live, is in this world where it can just go, it's all bad. Everything's bad. There's nothing good. And that's not true. That's very much not true. Because one, there's all y'all. Like, I don't know what I would do without y'all. Because every time I lose faith in humanity, one of you wonderful beings does something to restore it. Which I desperately need right now. Let's see. That your use word, it's almost daily.
That's awesome.
I miss having that muse. I do. I'm still trying to think of a name for the new muse that my sister sent. Our beautiful little new dragon friend, who, by the way, may be one of the new emotes over on Discord. Might have to make a little hatchling dragon for us, but he needs a name. But yeah, especially when you're in that state of inspiration where you're feeling that flow state and finding ways to stay in there. Oh, is there a better feeling on earth than being in flow? I mean, seriously, I don't think that there is. See, Hayden says, I started writing at the age of 9. You'll be 18 in January. Talk about cringe when looking at old writing. Oh yeah. I started writing probably around that age. I'm 45 now. My sister, much to my shock and horror, kept every short story I wrote for her. And occasionally, when visiting, will bring them out and read them to me.
Oh.
And one, it's like, yeah, I specifically wrote stories for her because I knew some things that she really, really loved that was a way for us to connect. Because there are 11 years difference between me and my sister. So, finding ways to connect could be tricky sometimes. And yeah, she still has all of them. All of them. So yeah, just you wait. Like, I'm not gonna have a full on Hamilton moment because my voice, as you can hear, is not song worthy today. But just wait until like you've been doing this for a long time and your writing has gotten to a place where you're almost kind of proud of it. And then somebody's like, here's that thing you wrote when you were 9. Like, you will know how Nosferatu felt in the sun. Like, you just burn the flesh right off your bones. I mean, in a good, yeah, we'll go with in a good way, but still. Um, Spence's answer is, but I am grateful that writing never goes away. Everything else comes and goes, but I've never stopped writing. Yes. Yes. This is the one constant I've had my whole life too. And I look, that's one of the reasons why I still call my writing time hanging out with my imaginary friends. Because I hear about other people and their kids and how they had imaginary friends. And my experience with imaginary friends was more like, let's make a TV show that I can watch in my brain. Imaginary
Mm.
friends. Much more than like, here, let's have a pretend tea party with my imaginary friends. Imagine, So yeah, that's a really good thing to think about, is because our creativity really does stick with us. And I don't know if this is going to prove true throughout the rest of my life, but I feel like mine's getting almost stronger with age. Like the visuals that come into my mind, because I'm a very visual writer, are just like, they're so clear to me now. And the more I practice writing, it feels like they just get crisper and cleaner and much more infuriating, because I can see so much detail now that like I'm seeing everything in 4K, but I'm making like like 1997 early digital camera version of what I've seen in my head by writing it down. But yeah. Hello, Shay. How are you doing? I was so happy to actually make it to one of yours as well today. I've been kind of MIA from the internet for a little bit, you know, because but yeah, it's been a lot. Hello, Eva. How are you doing
Hey.
today? I hope you're doing well. Eva's answer to the question: I'm thankful for my ability to write at all. Some days I think I'm so great at it, and other days, yeah, not at all. Those are the good days. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
finished a
don't even know.
draft and I'm like, I'm the best writer in the world. Well, not that bad, but it's like, yes, I have created something and it is awesome. And then I go back and reread it, and all I can see are the tent shifts. It's like I have failed. I can't even do basics. Oh. But
I still think about when I finished Crucify My Love, because I still feel like I will never write anything that good again. And it's not necessarily that the story is that brilliant, or it's like, this is the greatest novel of all time. This is the book that taught me how to write as me.
mm,
And and every time I think about it, it makes me happy. Every time I think about the day, I will never forget the day my publisher copies of Liquid Sky arrived at the house. Like, I didn't even think to grab a box cutter to open the box, and I got the biggest cardboard cut on my hand, ripping the box open, and didn't notice until the hubby looked at me and went, blood? And I was like, oh, because I just tore the box open, and I was like, get a camera, get some pictures. Oh my goodness. And I'm like going through all of them, and somehow got no blood on any of the copies that were in that box. I don't know how that happened, because I had a big bandage on my hand for the book signing that was really fun to explain to people. Like, yeah, I got so excited, I damaged myself on the box these came in. But yeah, I love that we have this capacity to bring not only characters to life in our own minds, but in the minds of others. Like, writing really is magic in so many ways, and it's easy to forget that. It's really easy to forget that. Hayden is changing his answer. You're thankful that world building in fantasy and other genres has allowed you to envision a better world and tap into the optimist hiding beneath the pessimism. Yes. Yes. That right there. That right there. Because I was watching a video the other day. I can't remember who it was, but it was an interview with an actor who did not understand how big it was that in the setting that the show she was in was based on had no homophobia until it was okay, my brain um it was one of the cast members of Schitt's Creek, and she said she didn't understand until she started getting letters from people, because this was how it was hanging out with her friends and family. Like she didn't realize how it was out there for other people, and to be on a show where nobody questioned David's sexuality or gender expression or any of those fabulous sweaters. Like, I need all of David's sweaters, just all of them. Until the letters started coming in. And yeah, that's something that a lot of people can take for granted. You know, in all but one of my settings, neither homophobia nor transphobia exists. And that's very intentional, because I have to deal with that when I leave my house. I don't want to deal with it in my story. I'm writing one story that has that as a component to it. But for anybody who knows like the thousands of stories that I'm currently working on, like that's very much the minority of them. Because yeah, being able to conceive of a better world, yes, this is a great and wonderful thing to be thankful for. See, Shay says, I'm thankful for growth. I'm not the writer I was when I found out about writing on YouTube. Yeah, not the same writer you were in January. Yes. Being able to feel that growth, that development is so empowering. And that's one of the reasons why that's why when people talk about things, sometimes you see me like nervously stare over there. The very first novel I ever wrote is on the shelf right over there. I was in middle school, y'all. And it's bad. It's bad. It's it's very not good. But I love being able to look over there and see the things that have stayed, that are like core to the things that I love about, you know, story and fantasy, and we're struggling to tell in that, but also how I've learned to actually write sentences that are English. It's very powerful. Just visiting Arkansas at the moment. Really from Tennessee. I lived in Milan, Tennessee for quite a bit of time in my youth. But we've lived all over the place. We moved a lot. Let's see. I'm kind of sliding through to get caught up with the chat a little bit, because I've been really digging in on a lot of these. Hello, Nikki. How are you doing? You're so close to winning Anno. That's awesome. See, your answer, you're most thankful for when it comes to writing, that you have such a supportive place to come. Yes, I am very grateful to all of y'all wonderful people that have made this a wonderfully supportive community. Like, it's I say this a lot, and people who get more involved in the industry really start seeing it. But most writing communities I've been in have felt like middle school. They've been very, very catty, very, I don't even know what the word is, very cliquey, and very exclusive in ways. Like, they will always find some way to like otherize people. And I've not really enjoyed being a part of a lot of writing communities over the years. And it's one of the things that I got really worried about when I first heard about AuthorTube and that there was this whole thing going on over here. And well, I'm not going to say there's not any of that that goes on over here because humans, but by and large, I've had a fairly positive experience over here. And yes, that is definitely something to be grateful for. Hello, Devin. How are you doing today? I hope all is well with you. Raiders, I'm the king of the world. Raiders, when they edit their stuff, dies a random piece of wood in the middle of the ocean. Yes,
Yes.
yes, that. Oh, that is very. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But it doesn't make it. Yeah, it's so important for us to find that wonderful place in our own writing. I think it's one of the things that made me into a Star Trek fan is this idea that and Gene was by far not perfect at all in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like some people think that I idolize him in a way that makes me ignore some of his glaring flaws.
Mm.
But he really wanted to present a world where people embraced diversity and it just wasn't an issue. Like he really did have that as a goal. And that's something that that's I think what drove me to fantasy fiction in general was it was this one place where I could go where there was anything like all kinds of just sheer wackiness was going on and getting to see how all of that kind of played together and I don't know, just really yeah.
Nano, oh no.
Oh no, I hope everything's okay. You had an aha moment last night and you blamed Devin. What did Devin do?
Oh, Devin. Up to your
Alrighty.
tricks.
This has been a wonderful conversation, but I want to pretend to get some writing done. It's
Sounds
not
like a
really.
plan.
I have an idea. I literally have an idea. It's right here in my hand. Um, and I want to get a little bit of work on it. So let's do a sprint for, and then we'll come back and we'll chat some more. And of course, I'm taking the ghost because if you have ghost, you have everything.
Pumpkin.
So pick your poison. Why won't you just default? I want this one. Anyway, um, so pick your poison. We are going to run a race. Oh, hi, Daya. How are you doing today? You're thankful for the moments when you read yourself and it's not bad and you can actually have a pleasurable experience. Yeah, I feel that. It took me forever to actually have that. I was a published writer for a very long time before I ever had that, which, when I think about it, feels oxymoronic. Like I should have liked my writing enough to before I shared it, but nope. I was just like, they said it's fine here, and put it out into the world. Alrighty, let's get this sprint started. I'm going to be muting my mic during this because I'm probably going to be playing with a playlist in the background because that's how I'm trying to establish a vibe to get my brain into a position to be writing. All right, let's get this sprint started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Dracula, the vampire, is one.
Dead and loving it.
Oh my goodness. So I did not get as much done during that sprint as I wanted to. I got a little bit better organized, which is good. My leg decided to do all kinds of spasmy things.
Oh no!
So I was up moving around and I got the one leg calmed down, and now my other one is like, I feel left out. Why haven't you given me all the attention? It's like, legs, just
How
why?
dare you? How dare you?
Just behave, dang it. Just behave. Oh my goodness. So
I journaled, and now my phone is having issues connecting to my little sprocket printer, so I can't print Polaroids of my little baby niece.
oh no. Has there been a recent update, or do you need to do an update? Because sometimes I've noticed that when driver updates happen, some of our smart devices will update, and I will not have updated the software so it can no longer talk.
There's like nothing to update. I don't know.
I was just saying, I was just.
Try turning it off.
When in doubt, always turn it off and then back on again. It shouldn't work, but often do. Let's see. Where does this start? Before we get into some of the answers that I see you all have already put in for question 2. Hello, Stephanie. How are you doing
I didn't even
today?
notice there was a question too. You should probably look.
And hello, Heather. How are you doing today? And did I miss anybody else sneaking in here real quick? No. Okay. So we'll talk about how y'all did on that sprint in a second. But for anybody who missed it, question number 2 in our gratitude fest for the day is, what is the best thing your world building brought to your story? Because I have a lot of feels about this in general, and also for each of my worlds in particular. I think it brought something special to each one of them. I believe this is where we came back. So Megan got 327 words on that sprint. Yay, snaps for you. Diana won the race. Woohoo! 56 words for CB. Yay! Because you're planning for next year. If that's not like a whole mood right there, I don't know what is, because I have sitting on my hard drive right now 2 finished novellas and 3 finished novels. No, wait, 4. 4 finished novellas and 3 finished novels. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. And that doesn't even count the 2 stories that are over on Vella right now that need to be bound up and put into other places where people can read them. So yeah, planning for next year.
It's gonna be intense.
Those words kind of just like hit really, really hard. just really, well, bang, just
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
That's funny. You said yes, Roy, right after my dog barked in the other room.
Oh.
I'm like, her name's not Roy. Let's see. And Maggie got 112 words. Yay! Stephanie didn't write that sprint, made some ramen. Hey,
Yeah.
ramen is productivity. I'm just saying. I don't care if it came from a brick, a cup, or if you made it yourself, which, by the way, ramen, one of the few noodles that's really, really, really simple to make yourself, unless you want to do the full, like, pulled ramen. That can be a lot, but it's just, if you do it, just some flour, some water, a little bit of baking soda, put it through a pasta roller until it's nice and flat, turn on the cutter nice and small, run it through there again, let it sit for a little bit, and then you throw it into the water, and it puffs. It gets a little puffy from the little bit of baking soda that's in it, and becomes these gorgeous little round noodles. So good, so easy. You can do it in like an hour, which compared to most pasta for me, most
It's my
pasta
turn
takes
to
me a while.
explode.
Let's see. I think we start here. Is it here? Okay, I want to start here with Stephanie's My Current Whip is not based on real people this time around. So it's been fun imagining a little coastal town. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So many people treat world building like it's only a thing that happens if you're creating a full-on secondary world. Stephen King created most of the towns where his stories take place. That's world building. Lovecraft created most of the towns that his stuff takes place in. Most of my favorite 80s movies took place in a fictitious town in Illinois because it was too good to be real. We're not allowed to have something that much fun in our lives. Um, but yeah, world building is something that we all do to a certain degree and to a certain extent. And for anybody who's writing historical fiction or contemporary fiction, and you're like, I don't have to worry about world building. Oh, no, 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 no. You have the sister of world building, which is research.
Yes.
And the world building is actually which parts of that research fits into your story. You still have to build a world if you want people to experience it. So that's really exciting that you're working on something and you're making your own little coastal town. Which coast? I'm curious. Hayden says, for fantasy diversity, you have 49 different sentient species to work with. That is awesome.
Nice.
And it helped you develop different cultures even after the genocides of magical creatures led by humans. Oh, dirty humans. We do terrible things. Dominated the world. For your alt history, it's reinforced the theme that inaction is the same thing as doing nothing, which can do more harm than good in any situation. That is so true. First of all, bravo on the 49 fantasy races. I do not want to know how many sci-fi species I've come up with for my space opera setting. I have a lot of them up, at least in note form on World Anvil right now, and I refuse to count. I really don't want to know. I started developing that sci-fi world when I was in high school, and a lot of elements of it I have kept and refined over the years. I don't even want to know. I find you extremely brave for counting, because if I knew how many fantasy species I came up with, my epic fantasy series has, well, at start, 5 sentient species. And it's kind of an almost spoiler that there will be more. Something's going to happen, y'all. It's going to get crazy. But I mean, it's me writing. I mean, do you expect anything different?
Not really.
The numbers 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, and multiples thereof are very important. Stuff like that is really important to know, and it's the little things like we were talking about last week, the minutia, that the milieu that people forget to put in. Because I had a friend growing up that would not do anything that was in groups of 9 because, and he explained it to me, and I don't quite get it, but 9 was a very bad number in his culture. And he got very obsessive about things. And if we ever went somewhere and there were 9 of us, he would either be like, I'm either going to stay home or we're going to find a 10th person. Like, it was very him. But also a neat little world building quirk to throw into a setting. Um, does opportunity for character trauma count? Yes. Yes. Yes, it do. Because, yes. The thing I want to say, I'm just going to say spoiler, spoiler, oh, spoiler. And then when they spoiler, the spoiler.
Wow.
Because I really want to say that sentence out loud, and I think I might be able to alleviate that pressure on the inside of my head for wanting to say the sentence by just like censoring the word with spoilers, because I'm not giving away how book 5 in my series ends. But, oh, yes, definitely counts. Definitely. See, CB says, because I write fanfic, world building doesn't happen. I want to disagree. Your creative, like that mashup that you did with all of the different Iron Men and all the different Pepper Potses from all the different worlds, that's world building. That's world building, because even if you just picked them from other things, the act of choosing what is or is not in your story is a basic act of world building. Just I just have to say that. Okay. However, you did use the Gregorian Council, which is something you create something you created from an Alan Rickman tribute you did in 2016. Well, first of all, you know how I feel. Any tribute to Alan Rickman? Yes. Yes. All of the yes. Sorry. This happens every day. My computer at a certain time dims itself because, oh, it's getting dark out. Let's protect your eyes, even though there's no sunlight in the room you're in. Um, and it just like, I was like, my computer's turning off. It does this to me every day. I'm sorry. Because it's based on
consistent.
Well, see, I can't get used to the time because it's based on sunrise, sunset time.
Yeah, it's completely dark outside.
Yeah, so it just, everything, my whole screen just changed. And I'm like, what happened? Is the stream dying? No, it's just the computer doing things. I told it to. Let's see, and you created a whole arc for Pepper Potts because she is impossible to find information about. True. Mainly because it's so different from the comics. Yes. And then there's all the versions of her in the comics. All of the versions. All of them. Every single one. Hey, that's perfectly all right. I went down. Oh, wait. Sorry. This is going back to a conversation that happened before the show started. I actually did go down a rabbit hole over the weekend where I started looking up really weird musical acts and found a band whose whole thing is doing weird mashup songs but performing them. And they did a mashup of Enter Sandman and Don't Start Believing that worked in a way that hurts my brain, because it's like the music to Enter Sandman but the lyrics to Don't Stop Believing, and it did things. That's probably why I didn't remember, because music is life. Hey, no one has to write, especially with it. I don't know about y'all, but it's a holiday week. So my brain is like, aren't we technically on vacation? Like, there's a holiday. Like, do we really have to get work done? And I'm like, yes. Yes, so I don't feel like I'm being a bad person when I take a day off for holiday. Well, can't that just be today and then you'll work on Thanksgiving?
We didn't get any day off in November for work. But Like, we have Remembrance Day, but it doesn't count in Ontario. It counts in other provinces, but not here. What? Give me my November day off.
Confederations. They're difficult to wrap the head around. Ooh, I just noticed a new feature in the thing. When I scrolled the chat message that I was on off the screen, it moved the hide comment thing down, so it stayed where I didn't have to scroll back up to find it. That didn't do that last time I was doing this. Food, no words, just food. Still eating the food. I love this phrasing, and I kind of want a t-shirt. I just just a little bit. So Megan's answer to the question: I love that the best thing world building has brought a sense of reality to your world since it's in the real world. Yes, and your story is really interesting because of the way it kind of both spans time and doesn't span time, and having to understand, like, I learned a lot about that region of California in the 60s from you, because I hadn't really thought about it. And then yeah, I learned a lot, and that was handy. That was really cool. And see, Maggie says depends on the world, but in the Nano Whip, it's the mother's determination. It's that mother's determination can save the world, or at least her son's world. That's really, really cool. I want to read this book now. No pressure. You've had a thing. It's fine. Work at your own pace. Take a day off. Is there a way that I can... I need a way to, like, incentivize you to let me make those, like, coupons that, like, kids used to make. They're like, I don't know if you ever made those for your mother. Like, here's a free day off work coupon. Like, how much do I have to give to your coffee to make you take a day off? Like, what do I have to do to your coffee to make you take a spa day, or whatever, like your equivalent thereof? Because you need a vacation. At least I feel that you need a vacation. You may disagree, but you've been going through a lot lately.
So the world building reminded me, sometimes I do all these things where I actually, like, print out the wildlife and things like that are in the environment that this story takes place in. So I, like, research the different types of trees in this specific locale of California, the different types of animals, the different types of insects, the different types of mushrooms, and that kind of stuff. So that was fun. And I plotted out his path on Google Maps.
That's a really neat idea. Sorry, you just made me, like, for the one fantasy story, want to draw what all the leaves of all the plants look like. I'm just like, I mean, do I need to know that? I mean, kind of, but no. But I kind of want to do, like, useless fantasy book idea. A book of pressed leaves from a world that doesn't exist. I kind of want to make that now, and I don't know why. I mean, I did enjoy the Book of Pressed Fairies. It is one of my favorite books of all time. If you don't have a dark sense of humor, maybe not look at that book. But if you do have a dark sense of humor and you liked Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal, and were like, I wonder what more of that art style, but really macabre and Victorian, would look like. Check that book out. It's really, really good. It's exactly what it says it is, by the way. It's a little girl's journal where she would go out into the woods, find fairies, and press them under glass to preserve them. It's exactly what it sounds like. And it's kind of amazing. But now you know a lot more about my sense of humor and personal predilection for art. Let's see. Shay says, I've been getting really good at calling the races. Got caught up in watching DIY apartment videos. Planning for your 2022 apartment makeover. Hey, that
Lady Coddington's Press Fairy book $145 on Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still in print. It's a hefty book. And I can't remember how much it was back when I got my copy in like the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But so good. Like it is the darkness, but distilled down into humor.
Oh, that's for the hardcover. And the paperback is half the price at $70.
If they have images you can flip through, you should definitely like.
They do.
They're so funny and kind of gross, but really funny. Um, see, Spence says, "I
Black mist. Oh my gosh, it's the legs."
the facial expressions are my favorite part because each fairy has a very different emotion about being pressed.
Yeah.
Just I do. Let's see. Spence says, "I also just stuck my hand into something squishy. Uh-oh. In the same. Oh, that is. Nope. Okay. So the husband and I have a rule. If he leaves water in the sink, it is his for all time and eternity until that water is drained. I am not putting my hand in murky water that I do not know what is in it. Nope. Nope. That is not. No. Not happening. Though we did find a piece of sentient, we think it's Parmesan, but it doesn't make sense that it's Parmesan, but it's the only thing that makes sense. And that's really, really hard in a bowl. And we don't know how it got there. We think it may have been from the French onion soup that he made, but again, that doesn't make sense because there was not that much Parmesan in like the whole soup. But there was a weird thing, and it just like cemented itself to the bottom of the bowl and would not come out. Like we thought we were going to have to get a chisel. It's strange. I don't understand it. How to survive this year first. See, Shay's answer to question 2. I think your world building has just really made the story feel real, like the places could be visited and whatnot. That is a very important thing to a setting. We were talking about this a little bit last week, that I think the best marketing that we can do nowadays for our fiction, especially our fantasy and sci-fi stories, is to find a way to, one, be compelling enough, but also to be spacious enough in our world building that people will want to make memes, do fan fiction, and really live the world and help promote it for and with us. Because it's hard, it's getting harder and harder to stand out in the market right now. And
one thing that I love about building on others' world building, like borrowing from the Lovecraftian mythos or whatever you are pulling from, is you have a foundation already, and you can let your imagination go wild and twist it however you wish. So you have something not necessarily tangible, but like tangible that is there already, and you can morph it into your own image, into how you want it to work for you. So that's really nice.
I have a project I've been working on for a couple of years now that I've been having a hard time trying to explain to people that it's not really an original idea, because there's literally nothing original about it. It's my Princess Rescue Squad series, where all of the fairy tales happened. And Oz. I'm counting Oz as a fairy tale. Oz is on the map. Because
the books or the movie?
The books. Because
okay.
Not much. I'm sorry. The flying monkeys did not get their due. They are so good in the book. And they're just like weird things in the movie. And I have yet to forgive the movie for that. I love the movie for a lot of other things, but the winged monkeys in the book and the Winky guards. Oh my goodness, the Winkies. I mean, they'll break your heart. They will break your heart. I love them so much. But yeah, maybe a bit too much of a fan of the Oz books. But yeah, being able to play in all of these different places with all these like Russian, German fairy tales and just all of it just makes.
I need to feed this puppy. I'll be right back.
Gremlin wasn't fun for people in town. Oh my. Well, gremlins, you know. Cool. Let's see. Oh, Heather, it sounds like you're having a delay like I've been having today. But it's good to know that you're doing all right. That makes me happy. Because it doesn't need to have a reason. Why does everything have to have This is the thing I'm working on. This is like my big next year thing is not everything has to have a reason. It can just be. If I can get my brain to accept that, everything will be a lot better. Yes. I finally got tired. I finally got over my insomnia. Yay. And then the cats were like, how can we make all of the noises? I mean, all of them. Every single noise possible to be. Because even when I took the things that made noise away from them, they just like ran around the house. Like, thank you. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted.
I love you too, kitty cats.
You're lucky that you're cute, Murder Fluff. That's all I'm saying. Like, just be very happy that you're cute, Murder Fluff. Didn't get your start on the character trauma for some of your stuff. See, all of the characters, exceptionally cruel author syndrome. See, I feel that I am overly nice to my characters, and I don't know. I've depending on the series, people have had different opinions about that, but I am not overly cruel to my characters. This is a thing that is either a feature or a bug, depending on what you think. Then, of course, I'm also writing a series that starts at the end of the world, so I probably won't be not so nice to those characters.
So I feel I am most cruel to my fanfic characters because fan fiction is what I write when I'm really depressed. And so I can make them as depressed and miserable as I want. Like, it's fine. And then give them hope at the end because I want some hope. So that's what I do to my fan fiction characters. My normal, original work has more of a balance. It's less hurt and angst.
See, one of the many unpublished and unpublishable books that I have over there is what I now refer to as my vampire book of angst in Brooding, because I didn't realize when I was writing it that every time I was in a dark headspace, I would pull out this book and add a chapter. Mm-hmm. So it's like a chronicle of late teenage, early 20s angst and depression, but heightened to ancient vampire levels.
Yes.
And trying to read it is let's say an experience. Let's say an experience. Mr. Spencer, you also have a rule that he is gonna call into work early, so he couldn't today.
Those dishes.
See, I don't mind doing dishes. It's just if I can't see what's in the water. See, I grew up in the Ozarks. We have these things called snapping turtles, and they can take your toes off.
Oh my gosh.
If I can't see what's in the water, I am not putting any part of my body in the... Like, I know there's not a snapping turtle in my sink. Like,
Freddy Krueger's hand.
Nightmare fuel. I'm just saying that I when I saw that as a kid, like, just like destroyed me forever. Because honestly, if I can't see what's in the water, I'm not going into it, because like these are giant snapping. Like, no. I am no. Like, rationally, I know there's not a snapping turtle in my sink, but Mm, mm. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Gotta stop thinking about the snapping turtles. Think about other turtles because turtles are amazing. Alrighty, let's get another sprinty sprint in, shall we? It's
It's not a snapping turtle, but a very sharp knife.
oh my goodness, like it's hard to explain the snapping turtles that we have around here. Like my in-laws do not understand that like our form of wildlife where I live. Like other places they have like deer and like squirrels and like we have snakes and more
Opossums.
snakes and a couple possums, the occasional fox, lots of snapping turtles and more snakes.
My dad was gone. Um, he had to travel for work a lot, and so we're getting ready for school. We open the front door, and there's a snake on our porch. We're like,
Ooh.
ah! So we call our neighbor, and he comes out with a shovel and takes care of it for us, so we can go to school. It's like, thank you, thank you. We're in the suburbs. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, he went to empty the cat box the other day, and there was a mountain rattler out in the creek behind the house.
There
Because
were
of course there was.
water moccasins in the river behind my cousin's house. That was always fun.
Yep. Alrighty. On those happy notes, let's see what words we can get.
Hannibal
I'm
Lecter.
I am going to continue working on whatever this thing is. I need to rename the characters. That I've realized is the main thing is I don't like any of the names that I picked for any of the characters in the story at all. Like none of them. So I'm going to be renaming characters and hopefully not creating new species for them.
A sentient species.
Yeah, that's not. I don't need to do that. They just need names. They just need names. Everything else is fine. I don't like their names. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And of course, I'm sticking with the ghost. Remember to save your work. Be better than me. Save your work. Back it up. Send it to a friend. Don't let the gremlins have it. Don't feed them. Save your work. We are going to get started on the sprint in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. It was the nurse. Don't know
She
why.
ate with super serum.
She did. Okay, so I know I've been having a lot of ADHD moments, but I just realized that I went over to my Scrivener file to do some things and ended up spending like most, if not all of that, customizing my toolbar. Because I had a moment of, this would work a lot better with my workflow if this was different. And it's definitely different now. I love my brain sometimes. How did everybody else do? Let me know.
I played with a puppy.
I had a doggy come in here and I thought she was going to play with me. And instead, she just wanted her throne. I went over there to play with her and she just looked at me like, but this is my chair. And got very, very sad until I stood up. And then she just sprawled out. And it's currently like just blah, little bitty doggy taking up an entire chaise lounge.
As one does.
As one does. Like I want to be that comfortable. Like, I'm not saying that it would be all of my wishes if I found a genie in a bottle, but at least one of them would be like, can I just once be as comfortable as a sleeping cat? Just. And then you learn the true nightmare that no cat is ever comfortable, and they live in an existential dread of nightmare and terror. I mean, it would explain their personality.
Spence did not know you could customize your script in the toolbar.
Yes. Yes, and if you have the Mac version, you can even customize your touch bar. Because the top bar where the function keys are on most keyboards is actually a strip of touchscreen on a MacBook. And you can actually customize it as well so that you don't have to even use your mouse. You can just tap that and have your controls right there. Which is nice, but I could have been doing a lot more productive things that were not customizing my toolbar, because it's not like it was that big of a problem. It was just, me being me. Okay, so Megan got 129 words. Yay! CB got grrr, which, I feel that way about a lot of his writing, but, is what is. And the writers of Ron face defeat.
No!
I don't know why I feel that like deep down inside, but yeah. Nikki got, come on, you can do this, eyes, 140 words. Yay! Better than you've been doing all day. Well, that is awesome. Sasha, Nikki says hi. Hi. She's just looking at me like, but where is she? Is there play? Does she have treats?
That's the main question.
Oh, your belly is all the way over there. If you bring your belly over here, I will pet it.
Oh, somebody found a squeaky fish.
Speaking of bringing it over here. CB, with 97 words, spent part of that time looking for the mute for your clarinet, but it doesn't exist. Oh my. Like, yeah. I feel so sorry for my poor hubby who has been home through my I'm seriously going to remember how to play piano lessons. And like, I want to put my headphones on, but the app that I'm using will not connect with my keyboard. So it's using the microphone to hear what I'm playing to tell me if I'm right, wrong, or need to do things better. So, and there's not really a space in here for me to set that up. Maybe I should have gotten the stand for it. I didn't, because I was like, we have so many tables. I don't need a stand for it. Apparently I was wrong. Talked on video chat with the eldest in Washington because Oh, her kitten is very ill, and I don't know if. Oh, that's so sad.
Sad.
that
Salmonella.
vets are interesting. All right. You think you'll take a bottle of something strong over spa day at some point? Over a spa day at some point. Whiskey can be arranged. I think you live in one of the states that you can have spirits delivered in. I'm just saying. We got a bottle of Weller's in at the restaurant. We got a bottle of Weller's in at the restaurant. It's like $1,000 bottle of scotch for anybody who's like not doesn't know. And we won the lottery. They literally like if you have to say that you want one, they put everybody's name in a hat, and because they only make so much.
Mm-hmm.
And they put people's names. Like, we got a bottle. We got a bottle. We got a Poppy's
Awesome.
and a Weller's this year. It's exciting. If you mute for violins, for heaven's sake. I don't know why, but my sentence about the clarinet. It has been multiple posting for a lot of people today, and I don't know why, but I'm just taking it as a lot of exuberance. Right? Like when we set the price for it, our bartender thought we were being evil, and we were like, "Search this bottle online. Just pull out your phone. Give you a minute." And oh my, like yeah, this is like $1,000 bottle of whiskey. Like this is like $1,000 bottle of whiskey, and it's not even like their highest end that they make. We get the second tier down, and it's still like $1,000 bottle of whiskey.
Still blaming Devin.
Well, the Tugwaddle gets blame for all things. Alrighty. Well, that is going to be it for today. I need the restaurant's address to see if there's a way to SC to get in the middle. We can arrange that. ppwinerack.com. That's our website. The address is on there, so I don't forget. Also, pictures of our food, and if he's been a good boy, the latest menu. More than likely, it's got the latest menu on there, but I'm not going to. Well, Devin, I'm married, so no, but thank you for offering. Alrighty. I hope you had fun today. I hope that you are getting excited for the weekend and for the holiday. And remember, this is something that gets easier with age to realize, and some of you may not have this option, but if family is a huge and terrible problem for you during the holidays, you don't have to go visit them. You can have a Friendsgiving. You really can. It's perfectly all right. You can have a just me Thanksgiving. We did that several times because it was the better option.
I want filet mignon. I'm looking at your menu.
It's so good. It's so good. There were 2 sprints in this stream. There will probably be more on tomorrow's because hopefully, I will be in a much better state for writing. Plus, this is a more talky. Okay, so all I can say is, girl. Alrighty, so I will be streaming again tomorrow and on Friday over on Twitch because I'm trying to find the perfect schedule. We are moving back to 5 p.m. Eastern for the start time. They will be 3-hour streams unless joints intervene. But if my legs are really, really bad off, I may have to call it early, but they should be 3-hour streams. And hopefully I will be in a place to write and get all the stuff done. So it's twitch.tv/CE Dorset for Wednesday and Friday stream. Obviously not doing anything Thursday because Thanksgiving. And yeah, should be fun. So much. Had to separate the humans, relocate the step fam basement. Yeah. Whew. Playing some war games. All right. Did you have anything that you wanted to tell the peoples about before we headed out? I don't have Nightbot set up over here. I almost went ! Laura, and I'm like, there's no Nightbot over here.
My channel is Laura Nettles. I have been vlogging my nano experience. It started off great. It's been interesting. But I won yesterday. So hurrah. That vlog will go up soon. And yes.
Human brains are fun, tasty, and, sometimes in our head.
You sound like a cannibal.
Have you met me? Like, if I'm not saying something a little creepy, are you really on one of my streams? Like, I gotta say something a little off color, at least somewhat. Anywho, have the fun. I will see you tomorrow over on the Twitches. Until then, bye.